Hey everybody. I hope last week was wonderful. Um, Now that we're kind of getting in the swing of things, I wanted to go ahead and get us a video going over some of the lecture slides for chapter 2. You are not required to use the lecture slides, but they do go directly with your chapter. So they're there for a reason. It's up to you if you're going to want to view them. So this is just going to be a short video of me kind of quickly going through them. This is not going to be an hour-long lecture video. But I do want to kind of hit on some of the high points. And so I'm going to do that using the lecture slides that you can get for chapter 2 in Stukent. So here we go. Let me share my screen so we can get there together. Um, and let me see if I can get the slideshow going. There we go. Okay. There. Okay. Chapter 2. I think we're all on the same screen now. Okay. Quote of the week. An empire isn't built in a single day, but a building is laid brick by brick. At the heart of it, we've got to figure out what it is that we want to sell. Products or services. And you could argue product, services, or ideas, but that's for another day. All right. First things first. If there's not something missing, or if you're not solving a problem, or not just solving a problem. I'm sorry for my pause. I was trying to use my words. The slide says what is something the world needs but doesn't have? Will your idea make life better for a certain group of people? Does a similar solution already exist? You have to be solving a problem or making life better in some way. We didn't know 25 years ago that we needed a miniature computer that actually was a phone in our pockets. We didn't know that. In fact, many, 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 many millions of people every day were talking about how that was a waste of money. Most of us now cannot imagine a life without a phone in our pockets, a smartphone, one that has access to the internet, one that can take video, one that can do live streaming. We didn't even know what half of those things were 30 years ago. And initially, when it entered the market, it was seen as completely unnecessary and frivolous. But at the end of the day, it added something to our lives that now most of us would say we can't do without. So when you're talking about brainstorming ideas, what is something that the world needs and doesn't have? And is your idea going to make life better? And then you got to ask yourself, does something similar already exist? What particular skills or knowledge do you possess? What groups of people need the thing that you're trying to sell? Do others have the same or similar skills, and how do they use them? Can you utilize your skill to sell it in some way? There are people on TikTok today getting paid for putting on their makeup. That's what they're doing. That's what they get paid for. And many people consider that nuts. And every time those people get paid for it, they are laughing all the way to the bank because they have found a way to leverage a skill for pay. Now, maybe not all of us can video ourselves doing something small and end up getting paid for it, but you still have skills. I used to get paid to type, not just type as in a receptionist type, but I have a unique skill of being able to type almost as fast as people can talk. So I can sit and listen to you talk and type all of it out in real time. We have text to talk, and we are able to upload videos, and AI generate that kind of typing, like closed captioning. But even that's not perfect. So for a while, I was getting paid to type because I have a unique skill of typing extremely fast and accurate. And so that's a skill I was able to leverage and get paid for. Every single person watching this video has a skill. Figure out what those are. And how do we utilize that to make some money? That's something I want you to start thinking about. Oops, wrong button. Do you know anybody who you could partner with? Where are you going to get the funding? How much time do you devote to this solution? What resources do you need? These are all questions that you also need to be asking yourself along the way. Funding is hard. Luckily, when I can sell my typing skill, I don't need much funding. I've already got a computer and I've already got the internet. So I can transmit anything that's typed to wherever it needs to go. Can you use whatever resources you have along with the skills that you possess and convert that into a viable business? What are you good at? What do you enjoy doing? What things most interest you? Forget everything you've ever been taught about business. Can we take something that you love doing? Absolutely love. If money was no object, what would you do for the rest of your life? We can only lay on the couch for so long. Okay, let's just be real. If you won the lottery today, you can only lay on the couch and buy so many yachts. At the end of the day, if money wasn't an object, what would you be doing? Now, take that idea. Can we convert it into doing it now for pay in some way? And I bet that most of us can answer that question with a yes, here's what I would be doing. And I bet that for most of us, we can find a way to leverage that into income. What are potential barriers of entering the industry? I'm going to talk about medical marijuana for a second. It is legal in our state now to sell medical marijuana. It's not legal recreationally yet, but I feel like that'll be coming here pretty soon. Here's the challenge. The barriers to entry, the walls put up in front of us to start our own dispensary are so astronomical in this state that it's almost illegal for us to do it. It's that hard. And in some cases, it is illegal for us to do it. So it's legal, but so hard to start that you're not going to actually see very many more businesses enter into that marketplace, and therefore there's no competition. The competition part of that story is a whole conversation for another day. But the point is there are extreme barriers in that industry. Now, the skill that you want to leverage, what kind of barriers do you have? For me, typing really fast, virtually no barriers. There were plenty of places needing videos captioned. And so I could watch the video and type until my fingers fell off. That's all I needed. Computer, internet, video capability, typing. Whatever this skill is that you're talking about or thinking about or considering the business in entering into the industry, what kind of barriers? How hard is it going to be for you to start it? And I don't mean mentally hard. I mean what laws are in place or what zoning criteria are in place in a building or whatever, what barriers exist. How much is it going to take for you to get it started? And we're going to actually do a whole week on startup costs in a few weeks. And what kind of profit margins can you expect? With my typing, I'm selling my time. If you mark something up, how much does it need to be marked up in order for you to legitimately be able to make money? Now, you can mark something up a penny and it's profitable, but that doesn't mean that you're making enough to sell it again. If I make backpacks for a living and they cost me $5 to make and I sell them for $6, it takes me, I have to sell 6 backpacks, 5 backpacks in order to earn enough money to buy another one to sell. So I'm eventually I'm gonna run out because it's taking 5 for every one. And I'm just not making enough money because at that point I'm not even pocketing a payroll at that point. So markup is important. How much markup do we actually need? What kind of profit margin do we need? And is it realistic in the industry that you're thinking about? Competition. The contest between organizations that provide similar products or services or that target the same audience of consumers. 2 main considerations are timing and funding. Is the market ready for you? And can you afford the cost to get started? Always, always, always shop your competition. Always. We're going to have some in-depth conversations about competition in the next few weeks, so I'm not going to go in depth today. But not only should you be shopping your competition, but you need to be looking at your competitive advantage. When we talk about competition, it's about learning about them. Who are they? What do they do? What do they do that's wonderful? What are they missing? What do they not do that's so great? And likewise, when we talk about competitive advantage, it's about us, the uniqueness of the products you bring to the market. It's also the uniqueness of the service. It's not just about the product. It's about how you do business altogether. There are times where we will be willing to pay more for something as long as we get better service. There are times that we will be willing to forego quality if I can get it quickly. There are multiple aspects and avenues of competitive advantage, and it's not just the uniqueness of the product or the uniqueness of the service. We're talking about how fast can you get it? Where's the location? How nice are the people? There's 5 or 6 different avenues that we can enter and discuss what is the actual competitive advantage there. And I love a deep dive into competitive advantage. So when we get to that topic in a few weeks, I'm going to really enjoy it. In some cases, competitive advantage is what allows you to serve a niche clientele that's been neglected. Who is neglected? Always go out there looking who is neglected. Find that out. There are ways that you can do research online about seeing what is missing. I think there needs to be non-chain breakfast places added in Sherwood. There are none, not one. There's donuts and there's McDonald's and there's 20 other fast food restaurants. There are no unique breakfast restaurants in Sherwood that are open on the weekends. None, outside of donuts and McDonald's. So, in my opinion, I think that's something that the market is missing in that area. Where you live, what is missing in that area? Or who you are, what is missing for people like you. My daughter has very, very, very thick hair. It's long, straight, and blonde like mine, but there's way more of it than there is for me. I have thin, fine, thin hair, and it's oily. What that means is there's special products for me, hair products for me. There really aren't special hair products for children that have straight, thick hair. There are tons of products for kids that have curly, thick hair or coily, thick hair. I have yet to find a good child's product for thick, straight hair. There's something missing in the market there. Now, back to the barriers. Do I have the money to start a hair product business just for that niche market of children with thick, straight hair? No. So I'm just gonna have to go on in my life of wishing I could find something better for her hair. So the point is not here. The point is constantly start using your mind to see where things are missing in the marketplace in all avenues of everything that you do. Remember, I said a restaurant type in Sherwood, specifically hair, whatever. It can be anything. Clothing, medicine, you name it. Start thinking that way. Then we can be research driven in our decision making. Research is the gathering of information about a specific topic, and it yields information about consumer experience, perceptions, knowledge related to a certain product or service. It's actually called market research. We're going to the people that end up buying this thing. We want to talk to them. If I wanted to do research on those children that also have very thick but straight hair like her, am I going to go and talk to someone that has thin and curly hair? No, I'm not. That's dumb. That's a waste of time. When you figure out who your market is, whatever that thing is that you're selling, when you figure it out, go talk to them. Would I interview people in Jonesboro regarding the needs or wants of a breakfast restaurant in Sherwood? No, goodness no. I would talk to every person that lives in Sherwood. You get the point though. Talk to them, talk to the people that need this thing that you're trying to sell. Search the internet for the solution you're considering. Spend time exploring adjacent solutions, meaning I don't have to go out to dinner on Sunday or breakfast on Sunday mornings because everybody in town's getting ready for church. Maybe that means a restaurant is actually not needed in that area because there wouldn't be enough need on Sunday mornings because people aren't going out to breakfast on those mornings. Okay, that's why research is important. Get feedback from friends and family. I'm going to add a caveat. If you have friends and family that are always telling you it's a terrible idea, just don't put yourself through that. If you are lucky enough to come from friends and family that always are supportive, get their ear and see what they say. If you need somebody to bounce some ideas off on and you don't have anybody to go to, holler at me. There's two main types of research, quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative gathers numerical data, which is used to analyze and summarize opinions. Qualitative focuses on using open communication together, word-based, meaning we're going to sit and have a conversation and I'm going to record it and then I'm going to write down answers based on what you said, but it's going to be paraphrasing. Quantitative is you're circling in bubbles, but I'm asking 10,000 people to do the same type of research. I'm going to actually summarize all that together. Both types of research provide important information and both can be used together. Feedback. They're both very important. Now, back to what I said on the competition. Direct competition offers a direct replacement of the product or service that you offer. Some would argue that Coke or Pepsi are direct competitors. Other people would say, Coke drinkers would say I would never order a Pepsi, but it's still a dark cola. And so direct replacements, think of it in that perspective. If I didn't buy the thing with you, who am I going to buy it with? Who else is there? Indirect competition offers a product or service that is similar, yet tangential, not a one-to-one replacement, but close. Water, Gatorade, that kind of stuff. SWOT. SWOT stands for strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And this won't be the only time that you hear SWOT either. It helps you understand how you stack up. You're doing an analysis on yourself. Maybe not you as the business owner, although sometimes we do SWOT analysis on ourselves individually. But as this business idea, analyze the step out of your box and now look at it like you're the third party and analyze. What are you good at? What are you not good at? Where are opportunities and where are the threats? Threats being things you have no control over whatsoever. Things that maybe a new law could change. If we owned the medical marijuana dispensary down the street and we found out there was legislation to make that illegal, It's a huge threat to our business. So threats are things you have absolutely no control over. Jasmine is a theoretical business owner in our text that we are going to hear a lot over our time together. And this gives a example of what a SWOT analysis Jasmine might do. She's trying to figure out what type of business that she wants to own. And she's working currently at a place called Creative Sparks. And she's going to analyze her job situation as she considers pivoting on her own. And so she is deciding, do I stay at my job? Do I open my own business? Okay, that's what she's doing here. And so this is an example of her doing her own SWOTs. Now, we've got different types of business models, which is a way an entrepreneur positions their solution, who they target, and how they deliver it. There's business to business, business to consumer. You've got tons of companies that don't actually want to do business to consumer, meaning they don't want in that retail environment. They want to do business with other businesses instead. And so let's say we sell office furniture. Well, anybody can go in and buy a desk or a chair for their office at home. But in reality, maybe your business only wants to do business with businesses that need 10 to 20 offices put together. And so that's the clients that you actually want. Different business models beside those two: franchising, e-commerce, drop shipping, subscription-based, old school brick and mortar, you get to walk in and go shopping. And then the gig economy. The gig economy is me selling my typing skills. It's me consulting out with various different agencies. It's you picking up a job here and there. Very popular these days. So I'm always a fan of the gig economy. We're talking about now we need to pivot briefly on a discussion on the business structure, meaning what's a legal organization that you're actually putting together. We've got sole proprietors. One person owns it and operates it. You're the manager, you're the owner, you do everything. This says the business is not filed with the government, but it kind of is. In the state of Arkansas, you get what's called a fictitious name certificate, and you get it in the county clerk's office. So the same place you get your marriage license is the place that you get what we call a fictitious name certificate or certificate of trade name. Same paper. One piece of paper, you fill it out. It's got your name on it. It's got your social security number, and then it's got a DBA line. So you're saying, my name is April Hearn, doing business as April Hearns Consulting. Here's my social security number. There is a line on there that if you want to use an EIN instead of your social, that's fine. And then you sign it, and that county clerk's office stamps it, and you are in business. Most banks, when they want to open a DBA checking account for a sole proprietor, they will want this piece of paper because that is the legal definition of who you are. That's not a business license. You're not filing anything with the state of Arkansas, but you are filing it with the county clerk's office that you operate in. And so now you do have to do taxes, but those are on your personal income taxes. So everything you're selling, you have to claim it as income on your personal income taxes. It says personal assets are not separated from the business. So if you get sued, they're suing you personally. So keep that in mind. There's actually there's good things about sole proprietor. You're in business the day you get that fictitious name certificate signed and stamped. You're done. You're in business. You can go to the bank, open an account. Outside of that, though, there's some negatives. You are not protected in any way. Partnership, a limited partnership, when two or more people enter a business where one of the partners has unlimited liability, while the other ones have limited liability. So they get less of a say-so. LLP, limited liability partnership, when two or more people enter a business arrangement where limited liability is given to everybody. It protects everyone from debts against the business and the actions of the other partners. An LLC, very popular type of business structure. allows entrepreneurs to protect their personal assets from liability. Owners are considered self-employed and are subject to self-employment taxes. So, things to keep in mind. Always, always, always consult with an accountant before you decide on which business structure is right for you. C Corp, separate from its owners, and it offers the most protection from personal liability. S Corp, not subject to corporate tax rates, required to file with the IRS directly. A lot of LLCs will convert to an S Corp and vice versa. C Corps are for those bigger businesses, but from a liability standpoint, that is the most protected you will ever be. Nonprofit, created for the purpose of conducting acts of service rather than generating profit. These organizations are recreational in nature and include groups like sororities, country clubs, or other member-focused social clubs. We're also talking about any of the nonprofits that you can think of. They have a cause. They're raising money. It's not generating profit. You've got bills to pay, but it's about serving the community in some way. Things to remember: get your tax ID number. The type of license varies from business to business, but obtaining a license also varies between the states and the city, depending on what city you're in. The IRS website can help you understand. Also, you can get a tax ID number for free if you're wanting to use an EIN instead of your Social Security number. Some organizations need a board. They're legally required for C Corps, S Corps, and nonprofits. It ensures that the CEO is acting in the best interest of the company rather than their own personal best interest. And it provides a system of checks and balances. Liability ultimately just means the legal responsibility. If something goes wrong, who's on the hook for it money-wise? And you want to protect yourself. Liability for a sole proprietor, it's all on you, all of it. All the taxes, all the good, the bad, and the ugly. For limited liability partners, you're going to share all of that, basically. You're sharing all of it. LLCs, you're not personally liable here. Whereas with a sole proprietor, you are. But it goes on your personal taxes. That can be a good thing. Personal tax rates are actually cheaper than business tax rates, so keep that in mind. C Corps. Nobody's liable, but the taxes are higher. Like I can't sue the business and take your house. I can't do that. But you're going to pay much higher tax rates. S Corps. Similar, but lower income tax rates. So they're on personal tax lists. Your B Corp, and I know less about B Corps than the others. Ownership is one or more people. Owners are not personally liable, and the corporate tax rates are the same as a C Corp. I don't know enough about B to have I've never used B personally, so I don't see it very different as a C Corp. So I'd love to explain this one more, but I personally haven't owned a B Corp before. Nonprofits. Owners are not personally liable. Most are tax exempt, but corporate profits cannot be distributed. You have to spend them. And we'll get into that when we're talking more about taxes. But again, always, always, always talk to your accountant before you make any of those decisions. I'm going to stop us there. I know it says at the bottom that, I don't know if you're seeing that, but there's a number, there's a few more slides after this one. There's actually not. So there are, but we're not using them today. I'm going to cover them a different day on a different video. So for that, I'm going to stop sharing. If you have any questions or you want to go over any of this or anything else that you've heard on the video, let me know. These slides, in addition to some other slides, are in Stu Kent right now. I picked the ones that I'm covering. But there are other slides that some of them I'm going to use at a different time. So keep that in mind. But so the ones in Stukent are the full set of slides. The video here used about half of the slides that they made available to you. There's nothing wrong with that. So please use this to review if you want and print those slides out. I hope you have a great day. If you have any questions, let me know.